Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Karen Gordon, and I'm the Administrative Manager for Seven Sisters Mystery School. It's a great honor to be on the team. Today's show is going to be a World Oracle on Sexual Healing by Marguerite Rigoglioso in ceremony with Lady Cannabis, and with the overlighting presence and inspiration of Mary Magdalene and Jesus, who Marguerite will be calling upon today. We thank you again for joining us live, for those of you who are here, and those of you who will be watching in replay. We'll be going for 1.5 hours today, and we would love to have your input, your questions, your comments. This is a big, big topic, one that we don't always talk about in a setting such as this, especially. But please just allow inspiration to move through you and put any questions or comments you have on this topic for Marguerite, for Magdalene, for Jesus in our chat box, and we'll get to them. And if for some reason you put one in the chat and it's not being answered, feel free to go ahead and type it in again, because sometimes we have so many coming through, some might get lost in the shuffle. Also, Gloria and Sylvia, our cosmic comedy team from Long Island, might be showing up, so hold on to your hats for those moments. I would like to thank Connie Viveros. I'm going to bring her on stage here for just a minute, who will be holding our sacred space today. Hi, Connie. Thank you very much. This oracle, this World Oracle on Sexual Healing, is a sneak peek start to a brand new course Seven Sisters is offering, called Sacred Relationship and Sexual Healing with Magdalene and Jesus. And you can also find out about that new course through our very exciting free on-demand masterclass, which is available right now. You can look in the show notes for this event to find the link. The name of that free masterclass is Meet Magdalene and Jesus as Your Sexual Guides. The course itself is going to be starting with the first live class on March 13th. And again, you can go to the show notes and find the link to sign up for the free masterclass, which is a beautiful introduction to this new course. Now, I've been a part of putting together this course with the rest of the team, so I have really done a lot of soul searching myself on this topic. And what I'd like to say is that this course goes beyond a walk with a friend or sitting with a therapist in their office and getting advice, where you're trying to understand what's going on with you on these subjects. It reaches deep, really deep into your own heart and your own inner knowing of what intimacy and love and sex and relationship mean for you. And this knowing and inner guidance comes through Magdalene and Jesus and our beloved Marguerite here. I'd also like to invite you to subscribe to our channel, to like this video and share it so that more people can learn about this kind of work coming from Marguerite and Seven Sisters Mystery School. And one last thing, for those of you who are here live with us today, we invite you to take advantage of the Super Chat donations if you feel inclined to support us with some of your well-earned funds. And you can do that by clicking on the currency icon that's below the video. So now, with all of that taken care of, let me please introduce you to Marguerite Rigoglioso, the founding director of Seven Sisters Mystery School. Marguerite is an award-winning author who specializes in scholarship regarding Mother Mary, Mary Magdalene, and the entire Sophia Christos family. She's also a trained oracle and a living presence dedicated to helping people awaken in their to their true divine human nature through her courses, through her one-on-one private mentoring sessions, and through her books. Marguerite, hello.
You know, that is quite a list about Marguerite. Who wrote that? You know, it's a little over the top, all right? We got to tone it down. We just thought we would start off because you're going to be crying for the rest of the time, all right? But hello, we're Gloria and Sylvia from Long Island in the fifth dimension. And with a warm-up act, all right, around, you know what, Nookie. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink, all right? So we're gonna leave it to Marguerite now. All he is, just have fun out there with this topic. Okay, thank you, Gloria and Sylvia, because other than that, we are having, again, what I've been shown today is that the angelic hosts, what I identify as angelic hosts, we're hearing type. You knock it off with the typing over there, Karen. All right? Yeah, knock it off. She's good, but you know, mute the mute button. Okay, so the heavenly hosts are saying that they love to come to this Bridging Dimension show. They're also funny, you know. They have a good sense of humor because they're like, yeah, you know, you people are our TV. You know, we're looking in on you. What do you think the whole thing of the Watchers is? You know, Marguerite, she's all up in arms about the Watchers, that they're like these negative marauding beings, which they also are. Lots of people are watching your planet, you see, the Watchers, the angelics, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And the angelics look, they watch to see when these negative beings are going to drop a bomb, so to speak, and just try to get around cosmic law within an inch of their life. And so the angelics are continually watching this. And of course, sexuality is a big place where they come in, you know. And so now first we want to just say, though, that the angelic hosts are like a guardian force of this Bridging Dimension show, for which I'm grateful, because this is the third time I've seen them at the beginning. I mean, I don't even think about the guardian hosts during the day, you know, but all of a sudden there they are when I'm doing these ceremonies. So they're guardians and guides. And I did call upon Magdalene and Jesus, and what came in very strongly are the Sophia dragons. The Sophia dragons. It's like a tribe of dragons that are many in one. And these are these creative forces that are very connected to sexual energy, Kundalini, and all this. So everybody has to really understand what sexual energy is, what the flows are, and how it intersects with the human body and human emotion. It's sort of a miraculous thing. That's why there's so much attention on human sexuality by interdimensional forces, because something goes on down here that doesn't go on anywhere else, which could actually just make me cry, thinking that we've been taught that our sexuality is low, when actually it's very high. And it's a major confluence of energies that happens. And this is an arena in which the negatives can turn it into something negative in that moment, and then they can drink of it. If you're just having healthy Lemurian sex, where you're thinking of positive things and whatnot, they can't drink of it. They can only drink of the energy when they insert negativity into the sex act, the energies, the emotions of the people, the thought forms turning it into, demonic and negative types of things, because that's where they can drink. Okay, so they can drink. Here's something that'll get you off the porn addiction, all right? Every time you're thinking of that thought, that kind of lower vibrational thought, these people are watching you. All right, you thought you should have shame when you have pleasure because maybe somebody's looking. Well, they're looking when you are doing all of these mental and physical manipulations, distorting your sexual energy. They're looking right at you. Not only that, but they are literally sucking off your crotch. They are literally sucking off your crotch right there with that energy. So the idea here is that as we go up the food chain, so to speak, we have, regular old pedestrian sex with people where they've inserted porn to try to get this all negative and low vibration. And then they've upped the ante of how much energy they can get. Okay, these negative interdimensionals. So they've created this miasma of sexual abuse on the planet inside families and so forth. That's like the next layer is familial family abuse that they suck off of. The next layer is child trafficking, and the next layer is demonic, satanic ritual that goes on in certain echelons. And they are the ones directly connected to these beings. They're in service to them. They're allowing them to come in, and they are using sexual energy to do it. That is what is all about the Mr. Jeffrey E's of the world and so forth. They're using all of these people, and there's gradations of, like, there's 33 degrees of Mason, there's 33 degrees of demonic levels in which they can suck off our energy. Okay, it goes up in intensity depending on how depraved the situation is. Okay, up until all the higher levels where they are using totally depraved sexuality. So this is like humanity. You need to be hearing this today. There should be millions of viewers to this thing. All right, this is very, very important information. And this is amping it up from what all the oracles have been saying. This is giving you a visual now of what is happening here. And if you doubt it, look at your own sexual misery in your life. Look at the sexual misery around you. Look at the amount of abuse. Now it's becoming very, very clear about that these people, children, are being trafficked. Look at that. It's already here. You are living it. You are breathing it. Everything that is going on in the realm of sexuality has been completely hijacked on planet Earth to turn it into a negative vibrational force so that these negative interdimensional beings can feed off of it. That is the headline. So it is very important that humanity reclaim their sexuality and spin that vibration around. And this is not about morality. This is about, you all know in your heart what is high vibration and what is low vibration. And if you're addicted to a lower vibration thing, that's where you need to unplug the implants. Okay, you're gonna need to do this. If you want healthy Lemurian sexuality, again, you're going to have to do a lot of unplugging. Indigo Angel is helping people do a lot of this and so forth. A lot of clearing, the Holy Womb Chakra teachings, etc. This is no joke. You need to purify this area of your life. Those Holy Womb Chakra mantras I've been shown scour the woman's entire yoni. over 3 months. They scour it. Okay, so it is a very good tool. It is a must-have for people. That's what I'm being shown to say, because in a way, I'm too shy about the level of import of these courses that are being offered here. Okay, so we all need to take this work seriously. Okay, so the Sophia dragons are saying now that you have to remember that dragon energy can be split into its it can be split into like a serpent, or it can be split into a lizard people thing. So that's how the Sophia dragon kind of erotic energy of the universe was used, if you will. Part of it was taken off. It was siphoned into the lizard people type energy. Okay, so this is at a cosmic level, cosmic rape and abduction. Everybody needs to understand that. Cosmic rape. You think these are just cutesy little stories that so-and-so was raped by so-and-so? This is not a cutesy little fucking story. Persephone was raped. Hello, what part of RAPE do you not understand? This is not just a story about separation of mother and daughter, redemption, and oh la la la, let's go live in the Elysian fields. This is about a rape of a goddess. These things happen at every dimension of reality, you have to understand. And there are multiple dimensions being inserted into humanity when they do those high-level rituals and so forth, and everything. Okay, so that is the bad news today, but it's the good news about, like, this is where we all need to take action. Like now, today, everybody should be in this class, because this is the type of information we're going to be going into. Critical now. If you want to be the cutting edge of what's going on, it's this material. It's this class, because we are going in deeply. And this is not going to just be for ourselves. It's for part of our mission of service. So, calling all sex workers. If you want to be a sex worker, this is the place to be a sex worker. So we're just kind of pulling the lid off of all of this thing. Okay, Karen. So why don't you begin with some questions? And of course, we welcome questions from others as well. Oops, you're muted, my dear.
I'm not typing. I take myself off mute. So anyway, this is a serious topic. This is an intense topic, and there may be some shyness in our viewers to, open up and feel into what your personal questions on this topic are. And, it can be challenging, but we invite you to do that. We invite you to just, muster up the courage to participate in this event with Marguerite and Magdalene and Jesus as your support and healing guides. So please do type into the chat, if you will. I'll start out, Marguerite, by addressing what you said about rape and how, we have our fairy tales, we have our stories, we have our Greek myths and such, and we don't often, or maybe many of us, don't really look to see, well, and our paintings, our beautiful paintings, what is it that's really going on? And I know that there are some who have experienced rape in their own lives, and then there are many others also who have who have experienced a diminishment, a sense of diminishment of their own sexuality. So what I'm wondering is, what steps can we take? What can we do to open ourselves to receive the healing and support that's available?
So what I'd like to do is bring Magdalene and Jesus in here now more strongly within me, and as a presence for others to just be sort of receiving a kind of radiance from the Christos Sophia at this point, anybody who's watching. So I'm just kind of turning it on and amping it up. And in some ways, this is one of the answers to the question, which is to bring the light through you and into you, to continue to purify yourself, comb yourself of all of these. Purification isn't about getting better because you're a bad person. It's about removing the miasma that has come into you from, largely outside things or your thought forms, okay, in connection with these things. So you want to be clearing and cleansing your space. So just allow yourself to receive this flow of light. This is one of the major things you need. It's what all the teachers are teaching right now. It's what, William Henry is calling the light body, and it's being called plasma and this and that. Okay, so now I'm being given the topic of the Sedona, Arizona retreat weekend that I'm supposed to do on April 19th. Okay, something about this. Sexual healing as energy. I think it can be handled. Sasha Stone will be there. William Henry will be there. Freddie Silva will be there. Randall Connor is going to be there. All these heavy hitter males. And here's going to come in Marguerite. Boom, ba boom, ba boom. Cha, 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 cha. I got a whoop. Watch out, guys. Watch me go. Whirligig. And I'm supposed to bring in some of this sexual healing energy. The topic of the conference is energy and consciousness. That's what Marguerite's going to be doing in Sedona, Arizona that weekend. If you want to see it, April 19th, 20th, 21st. Let that be an enticing advertisement. What we want to go back to is the thought of the golden light coming through you, sieving through you. This is a daily practice you can do very easily. There are some, Marguerite has taught the running energy meditation to clear and sift through your chakras and things like that. That's one option. All of these things are purifications, the Holy Womb. The angelics cannot emphasize enough the need for humans to purify their light body in these ways. And again, please separate the word goodness and morality from purity. Purity is just getting clear, getting clean of this negativity that is like within you in so many ways that you need a light bath shower to get rid of it. No one operation or unplug is going to do it. You need a light bath shower, humanity. That's what we're telling you regarding this and your sexual energy. If you do not want intergenerational sexual abuse and satanic ritual abuse to continue, it's all up to you. All right. Everybody needs to face this. And if you don't think that that satanic abuse is happening, well, look at whose father did what to whose daughter. Okay. And they don't even, they're using mirrors and illusion and multiple timelines when they are setting sexual abuse memories upon a girl or someone. This is why it's a delayed reaction. It comes many years later. That is not normal. That's not natural. And that's not a function of traumatic, brain amnesia. No, that is a function of shutting it down and opening it up. All right. When it needs to be, because as soon as that memory stream starts coming in or getting expressed, that energy stream of thoughts and her emotions is yet another pool of feeding for these beings. Okay, so they're creating sexual abuse where it can exist in human beings who will actually do such a thing. And then they're creating it on the astral plane for human beings who would not dream of such. And then this sexual abuse happens in altered twilight states, it happens in dreams and dream time and so forth. And that's where you get the girls who are like, Daddy, you molested me. And he's like, no, I didn't. And now everyone's in a fight about that. So you need to know what is happening to you girls when you are having this sexual memory, trauma memory thing. Okay. We're lifting the lid off because everybody's all, precious around their sexual abuse. And you need to get fucking busy. You need to get shamanic and know what the hell happened to you so that you can end it for your daughters. And you can end it within a generation on planet Earth so that it's not going to continue. Everybody who has been sexually abused has an opportunity to do this work. Understand what really happened, what layer and level this abuse happened to you on. Get rid of it from your body, mind, spirit. Forgive the perpetrator who may have actually physically done it, or his image may have been used. And then insert it as a false timeline into you when you're 35 years old, mysteriously, all of a sudden you're remembering. You need to understand these are timeline manipulations, on and off switches. They can time it. It can time your abuse cycle and stream and memories, energies to come in. It can keep it going in waves, This sex abuse thing is serious. It's shamanic. It needs to be looked at. People have been asleep on this topic. It's not just a therapy thing. It's an absolute shamanic situation that needs to be dealt with. Okay, what are people saying?
Yes, we do have some questions coming in. I would like to say that, of course, physical sexual abuse is the trauma, and the great trauma. And there is also sexual abuse in the form of emotional abuse and psychological abuse. And so what you're saying, Marguerite, about bathing ourselves in the light is so critical, so very important. And sometimes because of the abuses that have been experienced by both women and men and children, of course, the self-respect has been diminished so that we don't even have the oomph to do something for ourselves. But it's really important that we know that we can, and really important that we do bathe ourselves in the light. It really is a relatively simple exercise.
It is. And these things are not rocket science. They're not that difficult. They just need to be applied. And we get lazy. We forget. We think, oh, that's really not going to do anything. That's the biggest program. Oh, that's not going to do anything if I do a shower of golden light every day. It's not going to do anything. See, they've got you coming and going. They've got you hoodwinked a million different ways so that you don't have this purification, this clearing, and this releasement of these energies from the planet, literally from your crotch, okay. This is where it's all at right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me go to the first question that popped in and see if you can create a bridge here, Marguerite. Accentuates Clothing says, hi, I have long been fascinated by the Eucharist communion, the real truth of it. I know it holds some great wisdom for our time. Do you have any insights? Thank you.
Well, let's hold off on that for now, because we don't want to get distracted from the topic at hand. And it's a beautiful question. If we have time, we'll look at it later. Okay?
That sounds good. And thank you, Accentuates Clothing, for bringing that into us. Emily says, my husband is very shut down sexually. We love each other unconditionally, and we are happy together. What can we do to unplug these implants? What ceremonies can we do to restore our sex life? Thank you, Emily.
Yeah. Okay, good. I mean, first of all, go get a clearing by Indigo Angel. Both of you pay separately, get these plugs, get these in, she can do like the big chunks and things like that. Get that cleared. You both might then want to engage the Holy Womb Chakra system, the mantras, because that will be like a continued combing process. So Indigo can take out the big chunks, and then this Holy Womb Chakra mantras that both of you do will continue to clear you as the woman, the womb, and him, his own holy womb essence, which is connected through his umbilicus and his Nada Bindu point in his body. So start with those things. Don't even worry about like speaking to another sex therapist, blah, 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 until the 3 months are gone that you have done these mantras, and then see where you are. Okay. And then have a session with Marguerite, and she'll help you the rest of the way. Okay. But you're going to just have to get serious and buckle down. This is the information coming to you. These tools are available through Seven Sisters Mystery School, and you can go to indigoangel222.com and get it moving. Okay. Because this is the level that you and everyone needs. If you're feeling blocked, if you're feeling abused, get rid of it. Okay. Wow.
Thank you.
Crown is like really throbbing.
Mia Shakti says, I've been teaching similar for 30 plus years now. So we want to thank you, Mia Shakti, for your service and your work.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. You'll be less of a voice crying in the wilderness now, as people awaken to this level of it. Okay.
So, Marguerite, what would you say we most need to know from Magdalene and Jesus at this time about human sexuality?
Well, they're laughingly telling me that I'm making them the poster children for sexual union and harmony. And they're like, you can do that. You can do that. We are available for that. They're like, whatever it takes, whatever it takes to help clear humanity of this miasm, which is miasm number 1, which is the sexual invasion. Okay. They know about this. They knew about this. It was one of the major reasons they came to the planet, and they knew that their sexuality was going to become a contested area around this whole topic of their coming in to clear the humanity of the sexual miasma. So it became a celibacy prostitute ring, message that's gotten put out. All right. Notice that these are all sexual images. Okay. The undercurrent of the thing that happened with Jesus, Mary Magdalene, and everyone is sexuality, sexual. That has been hidden. And I've been picking up on it, but they're only now, as my crown is like, wow, telling me the level of this, that you need to really look at religions and all the distortions around sexuality that they start putting in, especially the number 1 religion that was connected with these two particular masters. And the Mother Mary thing got distorted too. So all their sexuality just was like, went through a prism. And now we're all looking at it like, oh, celibacy is better. Oh, women who are sexual or prostitutes. Oh, what's a prostitute? Oh, slut shaming. Oh, now we have people even arguing out about what is a man, what is a woman. You see how deeply it's gone? Okay. You've got to open your eyes, people, to what is happening. All of these dots are connected by understanding that this is all a siphoning off of sexual energy from the planet. That is the primary energy they are taking. They love unhappiness. They love, whatever. But when it all gets connected with a sexual act, that's when they can really go down. That's when they really go to town. So yes, this planet is being watched. Not to make you paranoid or anything, but there's eyes on you of all different kinds. Okay, so Magdalene and Jesus, they're in on this whole thing. And the fact that this lid is even being taken off in this course is like, this is a point in time. March 13th, 2024 as the date when all of this 7 layers got lifted up off of the Holy Family and what they were really doing. Understanding, connecting it to sexual energy, the sexual centers, the splitting of the genders. So you've already had the splitting of the genders. Now you're having the war of the genders and people saying, no, I'm a woman. No, I'm a woman. No, I'm going to take this out and put this in, and I'm going to be this and that. When what they really wanted was the unification experience of the shamanic practice of the bridal chamber. If they had been able to do that, there would be no surgery. Okay, that is the level. Okay, so the people who are transing, they're getting the picture about something is off with the whole gender unification, splitting, hermaphrodite, androgyny. But people, you need to direct your energy appropriately as you're doing that. Okay, and not just become victims of yet another scheme of pharmaceutical stuff for you. Okay, we have to be honest about this. We have to be honest. Yes, all of the people who are transing are trying to remember the original hermaphrodite, okay, which is what Marguerite is going to be talking about in this program. But you're not going to get it by how you're doing it, and you're certainly not going to get it by insulting the womb. That you absolutely must get clear on, everybody who's engaging in that kind of behavior, who's on the transit, and yet you are starting to create another kind of warfare. You are under control if you are doing that. So we are lifting the lid on all of these topics today. We've got to get straight and get out of this political correctness thing around this whole thing, because this is not about politics. This is about interdimensional warfare. Okay.
So I think we're all beginning to get the depth and the breadth of this new course that begins with the first live class on March 13. The course is called Sacred Relationship and Sexual Healing with Magdalene and Jesus, with Magdalene and Jesus. And I'd like to take a moment now to say that to our viewers here live and in replay, Marguerite has created a video for us, a beautiful video. It's a free on-demand video. We're calling it a free on-demand masterclass, actually, called Meet Magdalene and Jesus as Your Sexual Guides. And you can find the link to that free on-demand masterclass in the show notes, at the top of the show notes for this video. And this free masterclass is an introduction to the full course that's starting in March, absolutely free to you. And we encourage you to sign up for that.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's going to be the place for the integration of this very high octave level material, but also what this means in our personal lives, because I'm talking at a galactic, metagalactic level right now that does affect our lives, but we, aside from dealing with the sexual abuse thing and all of this, it's how do we deal with healthy sexual energy, right? How do we really enjoy that once again in a way that isn't filled with raunch and low vibration and all of this stuff that has got connected into it? I mean, my gosh, it's just unbelievable. It's miraculous. And then all of that kind of imagery goes into the creation of the child, the sex act that leads to the conception of a child. When it's filled with, kind of weirdness on the part of the parents, it really affects the energy of the soul that is going to be drawn to you and so forth. Okay, so it's affecting things. So this is a whole big upstep of people who have sacred children and children. That's why that two-step mantra that Sri Kaleshwar, I mean, I'm really just seeing this. I've never seen this at this level on this holy womb stuff and how important it is that two-part mantra is something couples need to be chanting regularly to have a purification when they are going to have a conception. That's what that is. It's to clear out all the miasm as you're having sex so that you can conceive, it's so that you can pull in a child that is a higher vibrational soul. Now, I have never seen that until now. I have never fully understood that, but this information is going to go out to that whole holy womb chakra group, Karen. Okay, because I am really now seeing what that is doing. That mantra, okay, Vishva Shakti Avaham, that mantra is clearing you by the energy of the Sophia dragon goddess as you are having union with your partner that could lead to a conception. Okay, so you are in a purification chamber. And being able to have sexual arousal and purification at the same time is a high feat. Now, not everyone can do it because they'll be like, I'm getting distracted. All right, by Vishva Shakti Avaham, I lost it because I couldn't be thinking about my fantasies, and I couldn't be getting sexually aroused. Therefore, okay, so this is like a purification as to lead up to even using Vishva Shakti Avaham in having sex to bring in so you're in a purified purification chamber to bring in and conceive a higher vibrational child, which is what we need to be bringing to the planet, because everybody with their lower vibrations are bringing in troubled souls. Okay, so you need to bring in some higher vibrational people and get that critical mass of 144,000 walking around so that they are transmitting the energies that everybody needs. So this is all a whole conception orchestration that needs to happen on the part of humanity. And the angelics are doing whatever they can to hasten this while respecting free will and cosmic law. But they're pulling all the strings that they can. And humans, you can offer yourself to be in service. At the beginning of this ceremony, I said, Holy Sacred Family, Holy Sophia Christ, I am in service to you. And the Sophia dragons came through me, and that was it. And they're like, well, we already knew that, But I mean, I'm offering myself to be of service to this mission. And the more of us who consciously do this, you don't have to be running a mystery school. You can just take a course, get the information, and then start being a part of this mission and this ministry, which is going to be the next part of the year, Karen, with the Mary's initiation training. Okay. Where people are going to be able to be fortified to be this more and more of the time, 24/7, walking Marys, walking Magdalenes, walking Yeshuas. Okay. So this holy family is highly available, which is why it's their energies that got siphoned off to be the worst satanic ritual stuff of all in the church belonging of their name. You know what I mean? So it's like you see how these opposites, these extreme opposites are happening on the planet, and people, we need to look at this. And I've been like, oh, I shouldn't make these statements, I shouldn't make these controversial statements, but it's like I hope people listening understand I am doing this with love. It is to just give you the slap that's just like, cut it out. Stop getting programmed by the military, industrial, medical, pharmaceutical establishment to keep you in another ball and chain, which is not what you would have sought after all. If you go through with this surgery, it's going to be another ball and chain. What do you think this is going to be?
There's a lot of conversation in our circles about awakening, right? Awakening.
Yeah. And
But if we don't awaken to these things first, there will be no grand awakening.
There will be no grand awakening. This has to do with your yoni, your phallus, okay? Sanctifying, purifying of all this negativity so that you can go back to healthy Lemurian sexuality, which is co-creative, and it creates more and more of a positive Eden, you see? That's why these negatives don't want that. So they've got us going into a negative spiral hell realm of increasing sexual abuse, increasing ritual abuse, increasing porn. And now they're taking it into the virtual AI domain where you're not even going to know where you are, what's up, what's down, what reality are you in, yes or no. And you could even get trapped into that AI reality. Do you want that? These are just, we're showing you. I saw this 10 years ago and I was afraid to really speak it that much because I didn't want to create prophecy. But now that prophecy is here and it's happening, I'm speaking it, okay? I just want you to know I did get this information 10 years ago in 2012, and I didn't speak these kinds of things, all right? But now it's happening. We do seem to be going down that timeline. Anyway, we need to grab the timeline back, and you can start by running golden flow energy sieve through you every day.
It really does seem that we're getting to the point where we have no choice but to do as what you're saying.
Try that. Try it. Try something else. Try doing that for 101 days. Just 10 minutes of running golden light down through your system from on high. And another one that I've been given is from the heart. You bring it in from 0 point at your authentic flower of life, not that fractalized one, but that authentic 12-petal flower of life. You can pull it out from there and into your auric field. So you can circulate it there. You can circulate it into your tube torus, into your tree of life. Okay. So one of those should appeal to you. And those are really important things that I've been given, these tools. I have been given these things since our workshops in the fall. We really need more people to be coming to this. If people understood the level, but the veiling that is over people in terms of understanding what is going to help them is even tremendous. People spend money on this, that, and the other thing. And if you only knew how far down the road this is going to take you, you would be spending far more on it. We have to, everybody's getting all skewed with money and so forth. Okay. We have to really look at this because all of this is tied together. The sexuality, the money, everything. Okay.
All right. So we invite you to look at the show notes and find that link to this free on-demand masterclass, Meet Magdalene and Jesus as your sexual guides. And then on our website, you can learn more about the many things that Marguerite has been talking about. And we would like to say that if you like what you're hearing, we would greatly appreciate your contributions through the super chat. And you can find that. You can do that by finding the currency symbol at the bottom of this video. And we greatly appreciate your support in that way. We have a lot of questions here, Marguerite, so let me get to some of them.
Yeah.
So Dela is asking, in your knowledge, how did the priestesses that became aware of these energies trying to right them? She just has a capital R, fight or dispel these energies.
Well, okay, so look at Daphne in Delphi. She was being sexually pursued by Apollo. That is a real story. She was an oracle priestess there. She shapeshifted into a tree. Now that's quite a feat. There are these other the Pleiades pled to Artemis to be not raped. Okay, and Artemis was able to temporarily turn one of them into a hind or something. You know, like these stories are real. The Greek stories of what happened to the feminine are your closest information. All right. And so there is so much to this. All right. The whole sexual predation happened to the young girl oracles of Delphi, which is why it came through the priesthood. It was the same lizard people energy coming then. All right. You have to connect the dots here. And they were starting to rape the girls. And they make it look like it was one girl that was raped. No, they were all getting raped. And some of the reformist priests were like, this has to change. And they were able to get it so that these women had to be now 50 years old. Nobody would fuck with them because half of them, nobody wanted to fuck them. All right. So they made what their, in their parlance was an unfuckable woman, the oracle, at 50. And so that's what that was all about. It was to evade those lizard people energies that were coming through those oracle girls. All right. Now this is information that should be shouted from the rooftops, because this also involves the Pleiadian sisters who were trying to bring a higher vibe to the planet, and some of them got raped in the process by these beings. And they brought through issue onto planet Earth that wasn't exactly what they had planned. And now they know they have karma around that. And that's in all of us. That was a huge operation that they did that was a risk to come and help humanity and raise the vibration of humanity. And they got attacked and intercepted. It was rapes of those 7 sisters. It's all right there. It's all been there in what Marguerite's been teaching. Okay.
Thank you, Marguerite.
Rose, we love the 1111.
Yes, thank you for that. Nancy shares with us, I've been through all this, and I am on the other side of it through clearing and helping other women. So glad we're talking about it.
And bless your heart, soul, and womb, because you are needed. This is the army. This is the Amazon army. We need all these women helping and doing in your own creative way. Each one of you might be teaching the Holy Womb Chakra in its pure form there. One of you may be teaching this form of something, the other. This is a critical thing that we all need to be doing and sharing, and each woman brings her medicine, so bless you for doing it. And we just absolutely need more such practitioners. Okay, now they're giving me the little, Marguerite is getting recruited right now by Sri Kaleshwar. He's like, throw it all over, just teach the Holy Womb Chakra teachings. And that's why I'm working with a guru on the other side, because I didn't want him saying that to my face. I have to make this decision by myself. This is a sovereign decision. I may or may not decide to do that. And this is the thing about even those lineages. They try to pull you in. They try to recruit you to their thing and their way and their thingy. And you're like, okay. And it starts out pure, but then all of a sudden you are being fucked by your guru. Do you connect the dots to how that happened? You first of all gave up your sovereignty by going hook, line, and sinker into a religion, a path, a teacher. You started giving up your power. So of course your yoni was going to get it at some point, and it happens to the men too in these orders and these groups. Okay? There was somebody that I went out with in his Tibetan order. It was boys on boys. Okay? So yeah, we're going there today, everybody. Okay? Because this is what Magdalene and Jesus were all about. This is why all of their whole major thing is a judgment about their sexuality or a statement about their sexuality. Magdalene was the whore. Mother Mary was the pure virgin. Jesus was the eunuch or whatever. It's all been right there in front of everybody's eyes, and now we are having to understand this in a much deeper way, and therefore what they really are, who they really are, to come bring back sexual health to us. And yes, now, they're working in a configuration of lovers. Mother Mary is working in the configuration of, she achieved the full bridal chamber within herself. Okay. So she united the masculine and the feminine. That's how she was able to give conception to Jesus. All right. Magdalene and Jesus, they were the double bridal chamber within themselves, but then they were the two coming together, and that's the mystery of the four. Okay, so we're going to be looking at that. We're going to be working with that in this class. All right, sacred relationship and sexual healing with Magdalene and Jesus. We're going to be working with these mysteries through processes, and they are really here for us. They are here for this great sexual healing. It's almost like the healing of the heart is secondary to the healing of the sexuality that needs to happen on this planet, and yet the chakras got diverted in a way. It's like the heart, oh, well, that's safer. It's less threatening than the sexual center. So let's just have it be, oh, we're all about the sacred heart, but we don't have anything to do with sexuality. No, their whole mission was about sex. We'll just say it. Next question.
Yes, we have a question from George. And quickly before I get to that, Mia Shakti says, people think Tantra is about sex, but it isn't. Tantra is a path of purification.
Yes. So what Tantra is, what I'm getting right now, and thank you, dear, for that, is that Tantra is that process in a way of doing what Sri Kaleshwar is suggesting through the Vishvashakti Avaham for a couple. A tantric couple is having it's a practice. That's why it is a practice to stay sexually aroused while doing these inner works. Okay. So that you can clear the sex field for yourself and really for all of humanity. What I'm seeing is that this tantric work at its highest level is the clearing of the sex field for all of humanity. So it is sex, it is arousal, it is desire, but it is in complete marriage with spirit energy, light plasma. All right. And so, of course, what can end up happening? Like anything else, you can fall off the rails with Tantra until suddenly you're in Marin and it's all about people walking around, unclothed and having multiple partners without even knowing who they are. You know what I mean? Like, okay. So it's like, there's so much about sexuality that we've been clamped on for even talking about. All right. And I have felt this clamp. I guess the clamp is coming off today. Because they're like, we really need to get down, with all this, with what's happening on the planet. Okay. I'm going to pause and see if there's another question.
Yes. Marlena has asked, will this be recorded and shared? And yes, you'll be able to find this right here on YouTube. George has asked, Hi, Marguerite. Is there a way to transcend the abuse rather than dig it up? Thanks. Thank you, George, for the question.
Yeah. Um, yes. It's not transcending, though, it's dissolving. Okay. So when you think of that geometry and that directional, it's more helpful. That's why it's more like the shower of golden rain onto your field is better because it's dissolving that miasm, those hooks and all this and that might have come through any level of sexual abuse, be it actual physical 3-dimensional or on the astral plane or dream plane, and you're confusing which plane it took place on. So yes, you can just continue with these purifications. Um, am I answering the question, Karen? Can you like direct me back, because I just want to make sure that I am addressing. What was the question again?
I think you could speak a little more on it. George has asked, is there a way to transcend the abuse
Oh,
rather than dig it up?
oh, okay, yeah. So therefore, once you are dissolving it, you don't you don't have to pull out a memory thread or a timeline. You can dissolve it before you even start having that time capsule timeline happen when you're 35 or whenever. You could be dissolving and just saying, if I've experienced any level of this on whatever dimension, I now do my 10 minutes of golden light today to clear. Again, over 101 days. You can do it with the holy womb chakras too, which are 101 days. So um it's like the first stage for humanity is clearing what's already here, right? Dissolving it. No, you don't have to go into it, because even if you go into it, first of all, if it's on the astral plane, it's a manipulated timeline and version of what happened. If it's in the physical plane, your perpetrator was possessed anyway. It is not their fault. They are infected with this virus that can go from person to person, generation to generation. When a person is sexually inappropriately touched and abused, the virus goes into them. The recent organism that you all had recently is like child's play compared to the sex abuse virus. Okay, it goes through, it goes into people, it can hook in. Some people it develops in one way, some people it develops in another way. It's a virus that has been set upon humanity. Okay, and so as we dissolve these pictures about it, George, we are literally ridding the earth plane of this geometry, this grid. And then there's less and less of it that's happening as humans go on. Like if everyone just did 10 minutes of clearing, like every single person, it would go away immediately. But to get the people to understand what's going on and what's needed, it takes time, right? So just focus for yourself on your clearing and teaching clearing to anyone else. Just this simple, shower of golden light for 10 minutes a day with the intention that you are clearing anything that's affecting your body, mind, spirit, and sexuality, your sexual organs, your sexual chakras. You're clearing anything that would cause you harm or suffering in any way. You're dissolving it. You're dissolving all timelines, memories, implants, inserts, red cube technology, whatever it is. You have that intention that that's what you are doing. And then you are gaining mastery over your body. And you are developing that light body plasma, quote unquote, shield. Okay. This is what's needed. What William Henry is saying about this plasma shield is no joke. And you want to get that plasma shield in and around you. This is what is absolutely needed. It is so simple. And yet, okay, all right, next.
Yes, thank you, Marguerite and
Wow.
George, for the question. Sarah is asking or saying the way sex is portrayed so casually and worse in TV and movies is very bad. Pop culture is the main teacher in this stuff. So sad and scary for our youth.
Yeah.
How do we change this?
This is absolutely true. These are becoming our educational instruction books. The movies, and especially the porn industry. When you infiltrate a humanity like that and teach children through lower vibrational imagery, and that is their connectivity with sexuality, that is their teacher, you're a planet in trouble. And we all know what is higher vibrational and what is lower vibrational. Let's not beat around the bush about it. You know in your heart what's higher vibrational and what is lower vibrational when you are engaging in the sex act, when you are thinking of your fantasies, and so forth. It's time to raise the vibration upward. It's going to be so much better for you because you know what happens with sex under those circumstances. It's vapid and empty. It's like you just ate a Twinkie. Good going down, nothing or horrible afterward. No sustaining power. And that's what most of your sexuality is on the planet. Think about it. It could be a different way where sexuality is actually amplifying you and enhancing you, not draining, not distorting, not getting you into a lower vibration, but getting you into a co-creative state. So Tantra was here on the planet to clear the field, but then there are these other practices to amplify the field. Okay? And that's what we can all be doing now and going forward. And it doesn't matter your age. Okay.
Yes, it doesn't matter your age. There's no better time to start than now. Phoenix Rose, thank you for your super chat donation. And again, anyone watching this live can find that currency symbol at the bottom of the video. Phoenix Rose says, hello, Marguerite, Karen, everyone here live in the chat. I moved out of my hometown on December 30th, just got to my new hometown, Austin, Texas, a month ago, and she just wanted to say hello.
Hello. Wait, which one was that?
This is Phoenix Rose who put in the super chat donation.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, so thank you for that.
Let's
Dom is saying,
more questions and comments as well,
yes,
this is a vital area that contains so much that is enlivening, awakening, and disturbing in it. And we want to hear, what do you want to know?
yes, we do have some more. So Dom has said, this brings me back to the Sophia Code. Now, I'm not exactly sure what you were talking about when that chat came in. Do you have any comments about that, Marguerite?
The Sophia Code. Well, I know it's Kyle book, which I haven't read. So I don't really know what the question would be about the Sophia Code, but what I do know is that Kaya Ra, from what she's described in like interviews, is connected to the Sophia energies, right? And so she brought a lot of information about that and about the dragons and the connection with Sophia and these particular dragons. So we all kind of get our information in our own ways, and it's good when it converges because it's validating the field of knowing from which we are pulling, right? So I don't know if that answers the question. All right.
I think Dom was just saying that whatever you were speaking about at that time was reminding him or her of that.
Okay.
So Phoenix Rose, now as I'm scrolling, does have a question for us. She says, or he says, I was molested, excuse me, I was molested by my dad between 2 to 3 years old. I was date raped by 3 lobbyists in DC.
Mhm.
I've been doing Magdalene things in the last 6 years. Do you have any advice on healing for what I have shared, what
Right.
I'm what I've gone through?
So I would say go through that golden light shower for 101 days and do the Holy Womb Chakra mantras. Take the course, get your supplies, do everything that's required, and go through that purification. Okay. And then ask the question. All right. Because you just need to clear this from the field. And this is another thing that happens. People get the molestation through the inappropriate touch as whatever age, and then they are marked, they are tagged. You have a tag on the astral, and so other people and beings who have matching tags find you and then molest you. That's why you have a person with multiple molestations in a life, because they were tagged early. It's a sparkle, it's a smell, it's a whatever it is for these beings that then come in and inhabit, and partly possess these other boys or whoever they are. It's not just men, of course, males. And then all of a sudden, you've got another sexual depraved trauma, which is a very high level drinking pool for these beings. Okay. And that's why they're doing all this date rape drugs and things like that. Okay. Very low vibration. And people need to know they're being played.
Yes, thank you, Marguerite. So as we've been talking about, we have this new course coming up, the First Life class, March 13th, Sacred Relationship and Sacred
Sexual,
Sexuality. Sorry.
sexual healing with Magdalene and Jesus, who I want to bring in a little bit more.
Yes. And we have this free on-demand masterclass called Meet Magdalene and Jesus as Your Sexual Guide. So a question for you, Marguerite, and you can find the link to sign up for that free on-demand masterclass in the show notes. What kind of healing do Magdalene and Jesus offer to our sexuality and relationships? And are there one or two specific approaches or tools that they suggest for us?
Yeah, really important. Good timing now, because me as Marguerite, I invited them, I invoked them at the beginning. They are kind of here, one on each side, um, helping to inform what's coming through me today as I experience them. Okay, um, tuning into that vibration, which is basically, it's the Sophia vibration. All right, call it that I'm calling in this or that. It's just getting in with the Sophia vibration. These are Sophia, who has stepped herself down into Magdalene and Jesus, to kind of come to the earth plane and deal with what has been created by positive and negative angelics. All right. So they are here as this, this partnership of sacred union. Um, and And so they are holding, the veil has been lifted on that template that they are a model for us all. Um, and so we are now beginning to explore, well, what does their sacred union consist of? How does it look? How does it act? We need them as a role model, right? Because everything's gotten so distorted. We've a little bit lost track of what is exactly healthy sexual relating. um you know and so and what I want to bring in here is that the ancient Greek sources tell us that there were three types of beings. What we might call male female. You could call it a positive negative, right? One was a positive positive, and one was a negative negative. And all of those were split, and this is what we're going to look at in the course. All of those were split, and those particular types of souls were then looking for their complement, right? So what I'm even being shown now is that the bridal chamber is the place for the positive negative to come together. And that's what we're going to be doing in the class. The male female within, right? Or the yin yang within. I haven't looked so much at the negative mysteries and the positive mysteries. I think the positive mysteries are more associated with Artemis, all right? The feminine love, then the masculine love, which became very, very distorted in Greece. These are mysteries that will have to be developed there. Okay, I'm focusing on the positive negative. It's all of this is paradoxical. The 1 and the 2 and the 2 and the 4, these are sacred numbers around sacred sexuality. And this is what Magdalene and Jesus are bringing in, because it's like, what inner processes do we do to affect this unification? All right, because that makes you also impervious. That is what leads to your plasma body coming around your body. It makes you impervious to any of these other energies. All right, that's what it's all about. So we're going to be looking at some of those processes in the class, the sacred relationship and sexual healing with Magdalene and Jesus, because that's what they're wanting to bring through, are these processes. And so it's about understanding, awakening, unveiling. Truth in Greek means it's aletheia, which means unforgetting. It means lifting the veil off, getting out of the lake of lethe, of forgetting, and remembering. Okay, remembering what this is all about, understanding, doing the clearings that are needed, and then getting to the good stuff eventually. Because right now humanity is, for the most part, in the clearing phase, but we need to get to the place where we are then in the joy phase, right? And that's Eden. That's Lemuria, right? That's where we're wanting to get, but we have to do this clearing right now. Okay.
We have about 10 more minutes for questions, and we have 2 that I'd like to get to. And I'd like to thank everyone for all the lovely positive comments that you're dropping into the chat. We're not going to have time to share all of them publicly here. The next question is from Mia Shakti. Isn't self-forgiveness so important in this? In our culture, we are taught it's our fault.
Yes. So going along with the sexual healing is a forgiveness piece. A self-forgiveness, forgiveness of other, and even a forgiveness ultimately of these beings, who are perpetrating this whole thing. So self-love is all a part of it, because what it gets you to the place of doing is that I'm worth it. I'm worth the healing. I'm worth the clearing. I'm worth the coming into new Lemurian understanding and experience and joy. So I don't know if that answered that question, or if we want to go to another one.
I think that did. Thank you. Rosanna has said she's just so glad that you're going where you're going, and it's all mind-blowing. Thank you, Rosanna.
Yeah, and I want to say, I want to get back to the issue of the transgendering, because this brings up so much pain for people. The confusion that has been set upon people the unhappiness within your body is part of the virus that's been put on the planet. But the healing is something else. The healing for it is going to be happening at other levels. And it is really important that we understand that this whole meme of aggression now that's coming from certain groups and people around the whole sex question and gender question is part of the same stream of abuse, and you need to know when you are participating in that. And it creates a twisted, contorted confusion upon confusion with fancy academic language wound all into it. And it is such a disservice to humanity right now. What is happening? It's everybody's getting victimized by this, and we need to stop it in our own tracks. What is the healing that is more deeply needed? When am I participating and being part of the problem? What is the end game that you're looking for when you're looking for a certain remedy? Again, awakening, clearing, and getting into a healthy state, to change this around, because there's so much confusion now going on the planet. There's so much more sexual misery that's compounding upon compounding as our young people are getting infiltrated with all levels of confusion that takes their energy, saps their energy, and all sorts of things. We have to see the shamanic level of what's going on. Everybody who gets affected by this is needing a healing.
There is such an intense seeking of self-respect, self-healing, and self-identity. And there is a lot of distortion around those things being thrust upon us. It's difficult to navigate, wade through.
And
this course that's coming up is a place. It's really out of the box. I mean, nothing like this has ever been done before.
yeah,
These topics that Marguerite is addressing in this course that begins live with the first class on March 13th. This is where people can receive the support and the healing and the understanding of their true identity.
yeah, your true sexual nature, your true erotic nature, your true sensual nature. Like, we're so confused now that we don't even know how and where and when to go. And then, so it's like we are restoring Eden. We are restoring Lemuria through these understandings and these processes. The realm of the fairies is a sex positive environment. And let's clarify that term. You see how these terms get used and confused? Okay. Let's keep positive to positive and negative to negative, because we are in duality, and let's not confuse them. It's almost like, yeah. Okay. So
Okay.
next question.
Sarah Joy is asking, when you have sex with someone, how are you energetically bonded to them, and for how long? And how does this impact our sovereignty?
Right. Excellent questions, because when you engage in an intimate sexual act, all of your chakras are kind of merging, ideally. um, and there is a great energy exchange. And when there's a sexual union, of the actual organs, there is an even stronger energetic exchange. Um, because the female is the receptor, she receives and maintains that energy longer. Sometimes it never is released, which is why the Holy Womb Chakra teachings are so important, to release those previous lovers, because sometimes it can just stay lodged. Whereas the male, because of the way the organ is, it's expulsive rather than impulsive. And so it goes off them more easily, that sexual connection there. Now, healthy sexual relating is like all chakras connected equally by each partner, and then it's like a merging and a coming apart. But the way we have it now, there's a merging, and then there's a residue, and then there's the chakras, because each person's chakras are sometimes unbalanced, they start trying to pull energy from the other person, and all of these various chakras, and then you have a situation of codependency or addiction, because the people's chakras were not filled in and of themselves. They're looking for the partner to fill, and then the partner may like that at the beginning and then kind of get sick of it, and so then there's a fight, a war, and nobody really knows how to unhook or uncord, because people are so desperate for energy, right? Love and the fulfillment of their nurture, and all of this stuff, because of the unbalances that have happened over the generations, over thousands of years. So we are healing all of this stuff back up, is basically, the short story. That's what we're doing here. Karen, help redirect me uh into the question or another question.
Well, Sarah Joy is just asked, she's commenting on the fact that we get bonded, energetically
Yes.
bonded with someone. And how long does that last? And how does it affect our own personal sovereignty?
Right. So that what I just explained was the mechanism and the whys and the wherefores of how this happens. So you'll stay bonded for as long as you don't know how to release the bond or purify your womb after an encounter, and release cords with the other person through your chakras, which is something I teach and other psychic teachers teach. And what you want to do is you not only want to purify your womb, but you want to keep building up your chakras so that they are whole and full, and you're never looking for a fill-in from another partner. And that's when when two people who are full and whole come together, it's tremendous amounts of bliss, but it's not the addictive kind of situation, or the addictive bliss, or the grasping, kind of energy that typically happens with humans at this stage of where we are. So it's not that you give up sovereignty. If you are consenting to be with someone, it's not that you're giving up your sovereignty. It's just that you have to understand that wherever you're unfilled or unhealed, you're going to have a sticky situation with this partner's energy field. All right. And so I hope that's starting to get at and wind into the answers to the question.
Yes, I think very much so. Thank you, Marguerite. We just have a minute left here. The time has really gone by so quickly. Thank you, everyone, for your chats, your comments, questions, and thoughts and sharings. We invite you all to like and share this video and subscribe to the channel to help to increase its reach. We really do. Thank you. We'd like to thank our sacred space holder, Connie Viveros. Thank you very much. And those who've come to be with us live, and those who are watching in replay. And I would like to just say that there is a general attitude that has made unhealthy sexual behavior, such as porn and fantasies when we're with fantasies about others and other things and other people, when we're with our partners, when we're with ourselves, then made out to be healthy. And they certainly aren't. And they are connected to the negative energies that Marguerite has spoken to in this event, that she speaks about in the free on-demand masterclass, which you can sign up for. The link is in the show notes. And to the course that's starting on March 13th, sacred relationship and sexual healing with Magdalene and Jesus. We want to thank you very much for being with us today, Marguerite, for your presence, for your wisdom, for your willingness.
Yeah. And I just want to say one more thing, which is about the desire energy, which is the karma, which is it's an energy of the universe. It's an energy intrinsic to the holy womb of Mother Divine. And it is the carrier pigeon on which the illusions and those negativities can start getting acted out. And Sri Kaleshwar really did talk about that. And that is why the purification of the womb through the holy womb chakra, mantras and so forth is important. And also that kama, desire, is a wonderful and important part of being and sexuality. And in a totally healthy place, it's just a dance of energy. It's not a hooking, it's not a grasping, it's not a clinging, right? So this is where we're going. This is the vision that Magdalene and Jesus are showing us, complete with some of their processes and mantras, including the bridal chamber that is written about, from 2000 years ago. So there is hope here, like we've talked about some of the negativity and have like ripped veils off of certain things. But there's hope here. And actually, it's simpler than we think. It's just more about the awakening to it and then just getting committed to what's needed. Okay.
Well, we thank you for providing that hope. And we hope you'll join us for
Yeah.
the course that begins March 13th.
Yeah, this is just the beginning. And it's going to be very practical as well as illuminating, to like really get down to it. Like, okay, what can we do in our lives to have this be better as part of our lives?
All right.
All right.
I think we'll be saying goodbye for now. Thank you for joining us.
Okay. Bye, everybody.